think we are good to go. There is a popular saying, the bitterest truth is better than the sweetest lie. Unfortunately, startup founders are often deprived of that bitter truth or constructive criticism. They get sugar-coated BS from their prospects instead of a purchase order or funding. And we at Ethom are set to change that. That's the reason we host these roast sessions where founders get to answer difficult questions and learn from brutal, unfiltered feedback from subject matter experts. And all of that is done on live stream to make founders comfortable with unknowns. Today, we have Royi Cohen, CEO and founder of PureSight, on the hot seat, who's going to be roasted constructively by a diverse panel. And he will be getting a lot of insights from the panelists since they come from the industry with a lot of expertise, a lot of understanding of the overall ecosystem. Now, I would request our panelists to introduce themselves so that we can learn a bit about their background and their organization. If I may request Filip to go first, please. Filip.
Hiya. Filip Hermans. Up to probably a few days ago, I worked at Vodafone, mainly in their business-to-business area, where I looked after transforming the build organization. So it's very much operational background. However, part of my responsibility was getting ready to deliver new products for our business customers. So obviously, I've got a good understanding how the market looks from an enterprise perspective. I've also spent probably 20 years in customer delivery. Again, enterprise customers mainly, so I know a little bit how hard it is to sell to large organizations.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Filip. I'm really excited to hear your feedback today, your insights today. May I request Dinesh to go next, please? Dinesh.
Hi, my name is Dinesh Sharma, and currently I'm representing European standards in India. I'm an engineer with a background of telecommunication mostly. 33 years goes to the industry, and out of 33 years, 50 years with Ericsson in the telecom side of it. But for the last 12 years, I'm focusing on this EU-funded project in India, where I'm looking for future technologies, future solutions, more from a standards and regulation perspective. So that's what my job is. It's a project funded by European Commission, but the purpose is to have working relationship in terms of standards and policies between EU and India around the digitalization and the clean and green technologies.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, Dinesh. And obviously, Europe is always leading when it comes to setting up the right regulations, right compliances. So really excited to hear your inputs, your insights today. May I request James to go next, please?
Yeah, hi, I'm James Engelbert. I'm currently the head of product or digital product at CityFibre. And CityFibre is a challenger broadband infrastructure network in the UK, fiercely competing against or with Openreach and Virgin Media. So we sell directly to ISPs, so we're not a direct-to-consumer brand. However, I've got experience in both broadband and mobile and entertainment industries in product roles, specifically around user experience and design, the areas that I've got a lot of experience in. So yeah, I'm looking forward to getting into this today. Thanks for the invitation.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot, James. And again, your background from the product management is going to add a lot of value to today's conversation. So really appreciate your time today. Last but not the least, may I request Mohamed to go next, please?
Yeah, sure. Thanks a lot, Pankaj. My name is Mohamed Abdel Metaal. You can also call me Mo, as everyone else. I'm working in Deutsche Telekom now since almost 6 years. Studied engineering, graduated from there, but became a product manager by nature. So currently working as a senior product manager in consumer AI. Interestingly, Roy and Oz I've seen that you've already in talks, or you have Deutsche Telekom as one of your customers. Kudos for that. It's a really tough partner to get, but it's a very rewarding one when you convince them. Let's call it this way. I've mainly worked in the home area, so the home APIs, broadband, mainly with consumer AI, B2C, but also B2B. And I have a lot of questions for sure, and challenges from the security perspective also, since we are working with one big partner in the broadband area. So yeah, looking forward to this session.
Fantastic, Mohammed or Mo. I'm excited to see that you already did a lot of research in PureSight. And yes, your B2C consumer perspective is going to add a lot of value. Okay, now we have Royi on the call, and obviously he's the founder, CEO, who's going to get roasted today. And I'm sure Royi has a bucket of ice nearby him so that he can, brace for the impact. But hey, Royi, why don't we do a quick intro? Why don't we have a quick intro from your side, and then let's talk about PureSight, and then let's start taking questions. Royi, please.
So thank you, Pankaj, and thank you all for participating in this session today. I'm very excited for that. Regarding myself, a father of 4 kids, and from 2008 involved in the companies that provide solutions for online child safety. So I look at myself as a global expert in this field. There's a lot of experience in AI and machine learning platform that is built for the global market. And this is the basic of infrastructure of what we are doing in PureSight. So I think that we should go directly to the presentation, and you can share any question that you have while I'm presenting. Can you see my screen?
Yep. Please go ahead.
Okay. So we are in PureSight providing what we call AI-based online child safety services. And the reason why we need to provide this is that we are recognizing that being a child in this age is not so safe. 2 out of 3 of any kids today are being cyberbullying or sextortions on other events that related to depression. And studies show today that these kids are 12 times more likely to commit suicide. And sadly, this is happening. It's all over the globe. In addition, according to the FBI, there are 500,000 online active predators trying to reach our kids any time of day. And with the social platform, it's become very easy for them. As a result, 50% of the sex crime happening on the social media. And one of the challenges for parents today that only 1 out of 10 kids will report this abuse to his parents. So we recognize today that knowing your kids on the physical world is knowing only half of your kids. You can sit with your kids at home. He's sitting next to me, holding this mobile device, and I don't know who is talking with him, what content he sees, and what he's doing there. And this is a real problem. And this problem is getting bigger. The good news is parents are looking for solutions. After COVID, Apple, Google, and Microsoft released their freemium services that actually educate parents that they can use all kinds of tools to overcome these challenges. So now we see a dramatically increase in the number of parents that are using some kinds of parental control solution and trying to overcome these challenges. This leads to a huge market that will be around $45 billion by 2030. So let's talk about the product that we are providing. So a part of what we call the standard parental control feature that are available with the freemium services of Google Family Link, Apple Screen Time, even Live 360, that focus on screen time, managing the app and the use of games, and providing location services. We took it to the next level and integrate our AI technology into additional features. The first one is what we call advanced AI content filtering. We are using our AI engine that is capable to classify web pages based on their content, allow the parents to really provide a safe and appropriate a platform that allow or to block inappropriate content, because it's not enough to block casino.com when you want to block gambling. You need to have the ability to scan each page that the kids will see and see if it's related to the content. Next is our social network protection. This is one of the biggest differentiation that we are providing to this market, the ability to provide alert to parents on events that happen to their kids while they are on the social network. So we have the ability to monitor the conversation of the kids on platforms like Instagram, TikTok, WhatsApp, Viber, Line, whatever platform that the kids are using for communication, run through our smart engine and send alert to the parent when we see event that require their attention. It could be cyberbullying event, a pedophile that communicate with the kids, or they're exposed to dangerous and inappropriate content. Sorry, next. Sorry. AI and machine learning are great tools, but we understand that we need to add the human factor. And in order to do that, we establish what we call the Content Research Lab. This is built of experts. This is a global one that has three main tasks when they are researching. They are researching the platform that kids are using. And the first task is to identify the language that the kids are using. Kids in this platform using what we call the digital slang. And we need to identify it, update our knowledge base so our smart engine will be able to identify the content. Next, we need to identify new trend, new content, because every week we see new trends that our kids are being exposed to, and we need to make sure that our knowledge base will be up to date, so we will be able to alert the parents once their kids are being exposed to a dangerous trend. And lastly, the application. There are millions of applications. A lot of them are inappropriate for kids, and we cannot expect that parents will be familiar with all of them. So we keep the list of inappropriate applications that by default our service will be able to block. And lastly, we are providing 24/7 cross-device monitoring, because the premium services of Android work on Android device, Apple work on Apple device. But if you have one kid with iPhone, one kid on Android, and you have also a PC, you will need to use 3 different platforms in order to protect your kids, and it is not practical. So let's talk about when we approach telecom, how we approach it. We identify 3 main KPIs that we help telecom to overcome. Telecom are working on a very competitor market, and it's hard for them to differentiate the offer. And when they sell a product for the family segment and bundle our service with a package for families, this gives them the ability to differentiate the offer when compared to their competition. And by doing this, they're gaining new customers to their base. In addition, we are providing a very required value-added services. And this gives them the ability to increase sales of the existing customers. And we have statistics of increasing 10% of existing customers in the family segment just by launching the service with our partners. And lastly, the reduced churn. One of the challenges of telecoms is how to increase the stickiness of the customers. And we show 50% increase in the stickiness of customers that are using our service and compared to others. Because of the logic behind this, if I get the service for my operators and install the service, the protection on all my kids' devices, I will think twice moving to a competitor that give me a discount, because now I need to restart the service on all my kids' devices. Lastly, we are offering also a unique product. We call it the Phone for Kids. This is a joint product that we build with Samsung. Give us the ability to offer a parent that want to buy the first phone for his kids to buy a Samsung device and apply our service in a way automatically, and then to give them the differentiation or the easiest of choice to buy the first phone for his kids, that many parents want to delay because of all the challenges that they have with it. Regarding the business model that we are working with telecoms, we are talking about B2B2C models. When we provide a full hosted solution to our partners, it could be a white label solution or under our own brand. We provide the tier 3 support and the content research and provide them the service. When the operator is focusing in marketing the service to the customers and doing the billing and provide the first level support. At the end, it's a very easy integration because it's fully hosted solution by us, and they just need to have integration with our provision API that enable them to create the accounts and manage the license for their subscriber. We are offering them 3 main business model. It could be a rev share model, a license model, models, or a bundle like a family plan that does not provide a price for our service. So we are giving them a very good price list when they are approaching the bundle.
Let's check if there are any questions so far. Jury members or panelists, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask questions if there are any. Otherwise, we can continue with the presentation.
Yep. Just a quick one from me. It's Filip here. So I'm thinking how it works. So your platform. So all the traffic. If I've got 3 kids, all the traffic from the services will be routed over your platform. So all the detection is done centrally, not on the device itself. Is that correct?
So partly, we have a network solution that can be deployed on the backend of the operator, but the full capability that we are providing today is based on 2 types of application. One is the parent application, that the parent will get a link to download to his phone and will be able to create profile for his kids and see all the information about the activity of them. And a child application that will be needed to be installed on the child devices. This application monitoring the activity of the child and enforce the policy of the parent.
Okay, so because it's mainly monitoring and sort of it's post-users analysis, which you then flag up instead of preventing blocking centrally. Is that correct?
So we have a partial capability to, for instance, block or manage the usage of application on the device of the kids. And we can block certain content when the kids are surfing. But for instance, in social network, we are more monitoring the content and alert the parents. And this is based on the experience that we have in the first generation of parental controls tools that we sold to ISP in the past, that most of our partners believe that they are providing a very good service, that everybody will say that this is a good stuff, but they got a lot of criticals that because people tell them, who are you to say what is good and what is not good for my kids.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
This is something that we are trying to avoid because we recognize that there are many parenting style. You know, what is good in my home might be not good in other homes. So we are not trying to tell you what is good for your kids. We are trying to provide you the information, and you as a parent will decide what is the action, what is the limitation that I want to apply. And most of the time, you also change it based on the age of your kids. When they are very young, you will be very restricted. But then when they go about it, you will release the limitation and be more monitoring and guidance and not enforce your policy.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I have a related question, Roy. It's a scenario that when you have tied up with the telecom operator, okay? Now you have the integration with the provisioned API, and all the operators have their own app, okay? So normally the relation between the telecom operator and the consumer is the app. Okay. So you will have this app integrated, okay, within their app. Now, my question is, when the app is integrated, how would you control that this app does not have a control with the child? Okay. Now there are two provisions. One is a parent, one is a child. Or even a scenario like Samsung phone for kids. How you are controlling that the child does not delete this app? He does not passivate this app and just go out of the radar. I mean, of course, how you're taking care of that situation when it is integrated with the telecom operators, and in a scenario like when it is integrated in the phone as a preloaded app. How would you take care of that? That the child is not passivating or deleting or just making it passive, this particular app.
Okay, so this is a great question. First of all, I just want to mention that we have two applications, as you mentioned, the parent application and the child application. And indeed, most of our partners already has an application that their customers are using. We are talking about the parent as a user of the telecom will have it. And one of the options for us is to integrate or provide them APIs that they can integrate the capability of our service into their app, and this is something that is working. Regarding the child app, this is a different situation because in most cases, the telecom does not install an app for the child because the child is not their customer. Okay, so most of the time they will rely on our application. It could be again white label application that require to be installed. One of the challenges of deploying the child application via the Google and Apple stores is that Google and Apple does not allow us to have a password protection to uninstall their app. So the child will be able to either uninstall the app or remove some permission in this way. And in this case, the parent will get an alert that this is the situation and he will require to handle it. Remember that we are not replacing the parent here. We are providing a tool for the parent. Once he gets the information that the kids deactivate the service, he will need to take an action. This is applied for when we deployed it via Google and Apple. But when we deploy it via the Samsung platform, we have the capability to protect the service without the ability of the child to uninstall it. Even if you do a factory reset, after the device will connected again to the internet, our profile will be deployed, and again, the device will be protected.
Got it. All right. Thank you.
Okay. So let's talk about another challenge that we face when we're working with telecom regarding the usage of value-added services. Okay. When we started analyzing the usage on projects that we have with telecom, we see that we reach a usage of 20%. And actually, it was very, for us, it was serious, something that we need to address and approach our partners and explain them the situation and try to work with them. And their response was, hey, for value-added services, this is great numbers, because when they are talking about cyber services, they are reaching around 3% usage. But we explain them that in our situation, when you are selling this service to a parent, they really want to use it. It's not just to put a V from their side. And we're analyzing that the traditional marketing campaign of value-added services in the telecom was when you join the service, they will send you one SMS, allowing you the instruction how to register and use the service. And we understand that this is something that is not practical because our parents are living in a very busy lifestyle. And even if I want to join a service right now, I will forget if we are not reminding them about what is the status, they will not install it. So because of that, we develop what we call digital adaptation model that can identify for each customer what is the stage of the onboarding of this customer, whether he just registered for the service but did not download the parent application, or did download the parent application but did not create a profile for his kids, or did not install the child application. And for each state, we are building with our partners the right campaigns containing the number of messages and the frequency of the messages that will be sent via our system to help the customer to finish the onboarding. And by deploying this model, we are capable to reach 75 up to 80, more than 80% usage. And this is a real value both for us and our partners, because then they are gaining all the KPIs that we discussed. Okay, so we can go over now, maybe if you want, to a short demo that will show you how the service looks from the eyes of the end user. So I will share my screen.
Let's see if there are more questions. Royi?
Sure.
Maybe I can ask a question regarding this model, the success rate. Of course, the SMS doesn't work. It doesn't work anymore. It need to be more convincing. The question is, have you come across a situation where operator says, I need to comply with the law, because there are various laws in countries like Europe and in India where we have to protect the child, whether it is safety or security, for reasons. So somewhere there is a law which protects the child. And I'm assuming when you say child, it is below 13 years, because the moment you cross above 13, then different laws comes, the privacy, the consents, various. I'm assuming it is below 13 situation, and the law demands them. Or even if law doesn't demand them to reduce the churn, to reduce the churn, they sell it as an additional functionality to their consumer, and voluntarily parents download it, and the operator takes care of this cost, and they somehow, you and them have a mechanism to take care of the revenue sharing. Did you come across this situation? I think more and more with the current situations of spam, the cyber, the bullying, all the reasons which you mentioned, more and more governments are coming up with the law, and there are legislations for which the operators have to comply. So have you come across such a situation with any of your telecom operators in any of the countries?
Yeah, we see, as you mentioned, a change in the market when more and more government take the task of protecting kids online to the top priority and searching for solution. It starts from regulation regarding content filtering that required the service provider to provide freely service for their customers that will enable them to filter the content on the web. This was the first regulation. And actually what we did with our partners, with our customers, is mix models that for one side, we provide them the service, a cheap service for that comply with the regulation, that request the requirement for the regulation, but give them enough differentiation that, every customer that called the operator and asked for this service is a hot lead to sell them the premium service with all our capability. And then most of our partners use it in order to generate hot leads and transfer these customers from a freemium service to a premium service. So this is the model that we are working with, and give them motivation also that after they reach a number of customers in the premium service, the freemium service will be without any charge. So this is the motivation also that we are building today.
Yeah, I think it'll be good, because in India, for example, the operators are selling a family plan. Now, in the family plan, they give those 4-5 SIMs, and then it's a bundled data, bundled everything. This could be an additional functionality which they can offer as part of the family plan. This will be very good. The second is from the content side of it. For example, the government has mandated the spam. So even the operators are marketing We have installed a server. We are taking care of the spam, and spam is good to control the flow of wrong informations to all the consumers, including childs. So I think it'll be nice to look into that model as well. Thank you very much. Let's give it to other people to ask us questions.
Thank
I
you.
just
Thank
had
you,
a
James.
Yeah, I just had a simple question. How do parents opt in to this product? Maybe you'll get into it with the demonstration, but seeing as the parents have the relationship with the telecommunications operator, how do they opt in to be able to receive those SMSs or the communication about the product?
So basically, and this is the go-to-market model that we work with our partners. So it could be a value-added service that the operator market the service, very hot demand for this service today to their audience. And because we are not relying, remember that we are not relying on the infrastructure of the telecom, it's actually give them the ability to market it to all customers in their region. And some of our partners are using it to gain new customers. So they say, okay, we have a great online child safety that's available today. Every person can buy it and use it. And you will pay $9.99 for the service. But then if this is not their original customer, they will be able to offer them a family package that they say, if you will become my customer, you'll get it included. So this is another approach. But maybe I can show, yes, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. The reason for my question is because it seems like the operators will own the customer per se in a way and own the communication, which can be a challenge for a company like yourself who ultimately wants to have the direct relationship with the customer and the parent so you can educate them properly on and effectively on how to use the product at different life stages of their child, their child's life stages, for example, because otherwise you are relying on the operator to have that communication. So I was just curious about the go-to-market, but maybe you'll get to that later on.
No, you're correct, and this is the disadvantages of B2B2C models, that you are relying on your partners to do the marketing and the relationship with the customers. The advantage is that once you have a partner like a telecom that has a huge number of customers and has the ability to either approach them via marketing and build them automatically via his system, it's an easy sell for reaching these customers. So there is an advantage and disadvantage. Right now, we are working on both models, B2B2C with operators and B2C in other channels like retail, education, and other areas. You're correct that there is a challenge here.
Roy, I have actually many questions. I'll try to go through only a couple of them now. But on the generic part, I still do not see what is the USP that you have, right? I feel like you're trying to do everything on parental control, which is a lot. Some of them are very impressive, by the way, and you could use as a key pillar to differentiate yourself, such as the social media protection. This is something that I didn't see much happening on the very red ocean area that you're in. Also, one of the thing is, I don't see the positioning, how you're differentiating yourself strongly from others. Why am I saying this? We're working, as an example, very closely in Deutsche Telekom with, and this is affecting all the 11 European countries and T-Mobile US, with one of the partners most probably you've heard about, it's called Kujo AI. And they're implementing parental control and security measures, not only on the application layer, but all the way towards the network layer. So this is their differentiating point, meaning that since most of the time kids are in the home, so we call protection in the home, they're bundling it with routers that are going out there with implementing an agent on these routers, plus having what is known as Kujo on the go that they're building on the phones that can be used for these protection IP attacks. Not only that, but also on parental control, detecting and blocking things already from the network layer side. Why is this important? Time to value. You said that in order to get us customers in general, and what we saw also with parents is that they want to have something in and it needs to work. They don't want to do an overhead of many different things. They really don't want to go through each and every website and saying if it's blacklisted, whitelisted, and so on. They just want to have a trusted partner that says, okay, here are the websites that are not allowed. Here's what you're allowed to do, and so on and so forth. And this is the time to value, because then they get the value that they want in the least possible amount of time with the least possible interactions. And this is what Kudu, as an example, is doing, and why it's a prominent partner with Telecom going forward. So from what you have presented already, I feel like the good thing, and by the way, this is something that could be used as a pillar, as a differentiating factor in your positioning in the market, is the social media area, because you saw like all these huge ads, especially with deep fakes, things like that. Parents are traumatized over thinking of how their kids could be used, photos from their kids could be used to mimic their voices even later on at a later stage, and be used for different fraud and vandalizing and type of phishing events by different attackers. So otherwise, I feel like you're trying to do everything, right? And my fear is you're trying to do everything well, and there are very strong competitors. And I said you are on the application layer. They are going all the way towards the network layer and also the physical layer at some point. So just, I want to hear your opinion on that.
Okay, so first of all, remember, when we approach telecom, we approach a specific market of families, okay? And we are talking about around 20-25% of their customer base. And it's important that you will provide a service that will comply with most of this 25% of the base. Otherwise, you are trying to provide a niche service, and the telecom will not be interested in that. And remember that when we approach families, we are talking about families from kids of age 3 to age 13. And we see that in different age, there is a different focus for the parents. When your kids are very young, at age 3, they get a tablet at home or a PC at home, start surfing the internet, start using online games. And most of your concern was what is the content and the screen time capability. But then when they are going a bit and you buy them the first phone, location service is relevant for you. And when they start using the social platform, you are getting worried what is happening with the kids. And I always given the analog of the road. You know, the road is something that we are using on a daily basis, and it's very dangerous, especially for our young kids. And we cannot remove or eliminate the dangers for our kids. What we are doing is educate our kids how to handle the road. And we adjust the education based on the age of the kids. So when they are very young, just starting to walk, and we are walking on the sidewalk with near to a busy road, we are holding their hand. On age 3 or 4 or 5, they will walk next to us. And on age 9, they will need to cross the road by themselves. Same here with the social digital platform. It's part of our life, part of the life of our kids. And when we need to educate them how to handle it and to adjust the guidance based on their age. And, you know, until the age that we will let them go and handle the platform by themselves. And this is what we are trying to provide. We provide multiple tools here, and each parent will decide which is relevant to his kids or one of these kids, and will be able to choose what he wants to activate. So this is why we provide this multi-layer approach. Let's talk about the example of Kudu. Kudu, we're familiar with them. They have a great product, but they are specialized in cyber security, and they had some capability of parental control, but they are focusing on content filtering, in the ability to filter content on the web, and give you capability on screen time limitation of the usage and in time management. And this is what we call the first generation of parental control, not online child safety. And remember that although most of the time you said kids are home, but then they have a mobile device that is capable to switch networks between the home network to the cellular network, and then you have what we call the Wi-Fi hall. So when you connect to the home network, you are protected with Kuju-like product, but when they switch to the cellular network, they bypass your protection, and if they go to the Wi-Fi of the neighbors, you don't have any control of that. So this is the differentiation, and again, our focus today in this age is the social network, as you said, and this is the biggest differentiation, and this is what we give, the solution that we give to the demand of parents today.
Yeah, thank you so much, Roy.
I think Oz wanted to make a comment. Oz, did you want to comment?
Actually, Roy answered most of the thing, but I really like more question because he raised a flag on two issues that we're dealing with those days. How to differentiate your product on this market. And yes, the social media is here. It's not going to disappear. On the contrary, it's just getting bigger and bigger. We see today that kids are seeing around 200 reels a day. As a parents, we don't have a clue what's happened, and we only know it when it's too late. Another layer that I would like to add here, although that we're proud of our AI engine and asset that we developed here. One is the artificial content recognition, allow us to classify web pages based on the content of the page and not the address of the page using AI. And by doing this, we create a safe digital environment for surfing for children. And another one is the ACI, the active chat inspection, that allow us to monitor social media conversation on WhatsApp, on TikTok, on Instagram, online in Japan, and on Viber in Greece, and we can expand it. And also this is a multi-language assets that we developed here that we can support a new language in a period of 3 months. So this is also good to know. But also, we didn't ignore the human factor here. So in every new market that we operate, we not only provide those assets and tell you, hey, there you go, buy. We also have a content research lab, global content research lab, that you will be surprised how much power and how much knowledge you will get once that you know as a company what is the favorite application at the age of 7 to the age of 8 in your area? Or what is the popular slang that the children are using? Because a lot of time it's not the written language, it's not the spoken language, it's the digital language. And we as a parent, let me tell you something, we are way behind. We don't have a clue. If we will see some conversation with the emoji, I doubt that half of you will understand exactly what they mean. Some eggplants and some more funny thing that we can see online. So we need to make sure that we all align here, and there is a huge gap. Applications that are not suitable for children. I'm totally with you. That's why we have two approaches. One is more approach. Yes, we as a telecom has our default policy, and that's how we operate. But when you have two people, you have 4 opinions. So there are some people that love this approach, and there are some people that say, no, I want to control what my child sees. You want to do it manually? Here you go. You can do it by yourself. So you provide a wide spectrum because there is a wide spectrum of parents. And lastly, digital rails and digital trends. A good rails, we're speaking about millions, if not tens of millions or hundreds of millions of views of something that I'm not sure that every 8-year-old, 9-year-old, 10-year-old, 13-year-old child need to see. And not only that they see it, they copy it, they imitate it, and we know it only when it's too late, okay? By the way, one of the biggest things that's happening in our market, and this is related to Dinesh, this is not only the regulation that are appear, this is also the insurance company, and this is the first time that it's happened in 2024, they declared that there is a correlation between getting offended in the cyberbullying area and the relationship between depression and suicide in the physical world. And they created a cyber policy today, that one of the cyber policy, if you will dig down, you will see that they have a section that says specifically that they will pay for the psychological treatment after 6 months that the child get offended. They did it because we all saw the correlation. And imagine to yourself that as a telecom, you not only get the tool, you also get on a monthly report that you can share with all your audience. You will take 10 or 20 rails and raise flag to parents about those incidents. So this is additional value that we bring here.
Thank you, Oz. Let's see if there are more questions or more comments. Again, we can raise the heat a bit if you want, panelists.
I'm okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's Filip here. It's again more not necessarily on the product, but obviously there's a lot of so although not real time inline, but at least real time after the event, AI-based screening. So assume that your uptake goes up significantly. So I mean, how you will your solutions, or is it scalable to, let's say, I mean, larger populations, larger usage, or are there any limits on it? So what's your plan for so scale this solution if it sort of kicks off?
So basically, the solution is deployed in Amazon platform, okay?
Right.
And the way we build it is it scale out automatically. Once we have an increase in the demand, additional instances will be up and running automatically. And so we are building it for scale, so we can support unlimited number of users. The cost is rather low for supporting these users, so it's in line with the business model. So we see a profit for any new users that will add to the platform.
So you think within your 4 to 10 thing, I can't remember if it was pounds or dollars or euros. I assume that was per month. So you make enough profit to continue developing and your sort of operational profits.
Exactly. So the production cost is rather low compared to the prices that we get for each additional customer. So this gives us the ability to scale up. Any new customers is a profit for us, even if we will need to add more servers once the demand is increasing.
I mean, and the sort of next sort of question is around, again, when you scale operationally. So I assume most of it is digitized, zero touch, maybe all your processes as you are using AI for detection is sort of AI driven, therefore the extra customers don't really drive significant backend costs.
Yeah, so as we explained, our AI technology is something that we build in-house, okay? And we have the ability to add more servers. So one server support up to 5,000 accounts or something like this. So when we have additional customer, we just need to add additional instance of the same server to support these additional customers. So basically,
the process to onboard, and that's all automated, I assume. So exactly. Like you've got a big team order managing things, so it's all automated from day one, is it?
Yeah. We were one of the first customers of the Amazon cloud services. Once we get familiar with it, we immediately move to this platform, implement all the auto-scaling capabilities. So this is something that a rather very small team can now manage a service that serves millions of customers. And this is the new generation that we see here with the approach that we took.
I have a question, maybe before you go to the demo. The one question is, which is related to James and Mo. You have built the entire possibilities which you can think of from a child safety point of view. But then when you do it, you are giving it to the parent a much complicated solution. I mean, I'm a parent. I need simplified way of having something to control it. I mean, have you built in some kind of, when they download the applications, have you built some kind of guidelines, which is not a text only, but a video as well? Because these days, reading a text is difficult in the digital world. I mean, as a parent, if I download your applications for my kids' control, I would like to have a kind of descriptive of these applications, that how to use it. This is one comment I have it for a question. The second is when OJ explained it, I mean, of course, you have the content controllers, content analyzer, you know which site is dangerous, which site to block. You have the entire control of it. Okay. So when the child access it, it's already blocked. So it doesn't go there. But then these days, more and more new websites pop up. Okay. And child being appears, they says, oh, you go to that site. If this is not working, you go to that site. So effectively, now there is a new site, there is a new risk. Okay. And you are analyzing it. Of course, you are analyzing it, the behavior and the data upload is also analyzed. So, and then you can block it in the next instant when you analyze it or parents report it. But then now there is exchange of data. Okay. The one data which you had a control of it, no problem. But now you are analyzing a data from an end consumer, which is the new data. And nowadays, more and more countries are coming up with a law like GDPR. In India, they have their regulations, and then they make the data fiduciaries as a responsible party to take care of it. So how do you take care of that particular side of data part and the education to the parent? These are my two questions. Thank you.
Okay, these are great questions, actually. So you're right. When we approach parents, we immediately identify that parents are not necessarily the best technical people and has a IT background. So when we develop and design the product, the interface for parents, we are trying to talk with the language that a usual parent will understand and in the words that he familiar with. Because when I approach today parents, they're familiar with the challenges, okay? And so we are trying to make the conversation via the dashboard that we design is simple and to this audience. In addition, you're right, there is a lot of capability of the servers. And what we are doing is that we create a default profile based on the age of the kids. So when the parents create a profile for his kids and give the name, you also indicate the age of the kids. So we create for him what we call default preset. Okay, apply a default preset on this profile with our recommendation. You know, it's a very light recommendation, and usually we are working with our partners, telecoms, to adjust these settings based on their region, because different region can have different settings. And at the end, the 80%, I will say, of our customers will rely on this profile and just getting the information and work with the service. The other one will be able also to go to the settings and change this profile, but most of them will rely on the predefined preset that we define based on the age of the kids. Okay? Let's talk about the other question that you talk about, data protection. You know, we are storing data that we are collecting on kids, and we take very seriously this data and the way we are protecting it. And we also comply with all the regulation, and we understand it. When I'm working with telecoms, like our agreement with Deutsche Telekom in Europe require us to apply with all the regulations. So when we store the data is stored encrypted. It's stored anonymously. We store the data for certain times, and after up to 30 days, this data will be deleted from our servers. We are not sharing this data from any other third party, and we are using it only for this service, and make sure that only the parent will be able to expose to the data that we collect on his family. So this is a really serious issue for us, and we are making the best to protect it, and, you know, running all the testing, presentation testing, and all of this based on what also the regulation require us to do. Storing the data in different locations. Customers from Europe will be stored on Europe side. In the US will be stored in US. Every region that we are working, we are making sure that we are applying with the regulation.
Perfect. I'll shut my mouth just by saying that please include the language, the translator, because worldwide, wherever you go, not only, I mean, there will be multiple of languages. And when you have this guide, please ensure that that guide have a conversion to whichever language they want to listen and understand this app. I close
Yeah.
mine and I go back there. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dinesh.
I just want to add about this because I didn't describe it, but we provide our partners with videos, instruction, and today with the AI tools, it's easy to take any video and translate it to any language.
Correct.
So it's something that can be that we are doing and providing to our partners today.
Perfect. Thank you.
I believe Mo had a couple of other questions. Mo, is there any particular question which is sort of not able to? Yeah, please go ahead.
No, I think everyone almost mentioned everything, so that's really good. On the data privacy part, of course, I just wanted, on top of that, I know that you're dealing with a very strict privacy and security assessment in order to work with the telcos, but is there any specific plans for the EU AI Act that is coming next year, since you are in the highest risk category with respect to data regulations and privacy auditing?
Yeah, so remember that one of the advantage that we are using proprietary AI algorithm, we're running locally on our system, and no data is being shared with the platform because it's our own platform. So this is one advantage that we have. And you know, regarding privacy, the all-time new amendment for the regulation, and we are keeping and making sure that we are up to date with all the requirements and making sure that we will comply with all the new regulation that will deployed in any region that we are operating. So it's not one-time task. We know we understand this. This is something that we will need to support on an ongoing basis.
Thank you. Just making sure that we have a bit more time for the product demo. James had to leave. Okay, Mo, you also have to leave. Okay, so in that case, I would request all the panelists to probably share one piece of advice which you think could be extremely relevant, extremely important, and critical for Royi and Oz. So yeah, please feel free to unmute yourself and just one piece of advice which is extremely critical for them.
I mean, from what I've sort of heard, I mean, there's maybe 2 points, if I may. This is one, I think, similar to Mo, around positioning. So there's a lot of other products on the market. So how do you clearly, and yeah, you're probably the social media bit and identifying what, based on what they're saying and how they're interacting, it's probably something new, but does it jump out in your positioning that it actually the others don't do? I think that's something to focus on. And then really the other things is around the how the parent, because obviously, as you say, our parents are different. So maybe consider some an agent-based, AI agent-based sort of agent to have a conversation with the parent to say, look, what is your type of risk, what you want to do, which then drives these technical settings. I mean, I'm quite technical. When my kids come and say, well, how shall we configure it? You just say, oh, just keep the standard. So there might be something in these new ways to trying to elicit from the parents around how they want your application to be configured using some of a sort of an AI agent. So that might be something would be useful just from a parent perspective.
Thank you, Philip. I think that's quite insightful. Really appreciate it. Dinesh, any last comment from your side?
No, I think it's great going, but in EU, I think, as you know, the Digital Services Act, the work is happening around child safety, security, and privacy part of it. Going beyond Samsung, let's talk it. I think that is very good if the app could come integrated in the phone. And I'm sure whether it's because of law or because of parental, having more device manufacturers on your kitty would flourish this and make it a big ecosystem, I think that's the way to go. Samsung is a good success story, but don't tie it up with only with one device manufacturers. Go beyond that. That will be a good way forward. But then keep watching the laws. Laws are coming. AI Act was mentioned, but DSA is becoming popular, and then every country is implementing similar to DSA. And as part of DSA, the child safety, security, and privacy is talked about a lot. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, Dinesh. I think this has been extremely insightful conversation. Royi, any specific question that you want to ask to Filip and Dinesh before we hang up?
I guess thank you for the insight of what you provide. It was very interesting for me to get your feedback and to be challenged by your questions. So thank you for that. I really appreciate, and hope we will have continue the discussion here.
Yep, fantastic.
I have so many questions. I mean, I forgot to discuss about your tie-up with the insurance sector. That was very interesting. I wanted to know more about it. I mean, talking more from insurance side of it, which is more appearance decisions to go for an insurance, and then you're clubbing this as part of insurance. That was very exciting. I mean, I think time is too less to talk about it, but good to go. I mean, very, very good to go. Thank you.
Thank you. So I would really appreciate if we can set up another time, probably one-on-one conversation to talk about those remaining questions that we still have. But yeah, really appreciate your time. Thanks a lot, Dinesh and Filip.
Thank you.
It has been really wonderful session with you. A lot of insights, and I'm sure that it gives us good perspective on what we need to think about, where we need to go in terms of our overall product go-to-market channel strategy. So really appreciate it.
Good luck.
Royi, I think you covered this really well. So thanks a lot for that.
And India loves Israel. India loves Israel solutions. Welcome to India. Thank you very much.
Take care. Bye. Stay safe.
Okay, bye-bye.